All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Talks with Antoine. Let's jump right into it. So this video is going to be a little different. This video is going to be a story time about my recent vacation to Cartagena. I did not get enough film in to make a vlog. My thing is that when I go on vacations like this, I be so in the moment that anything outside of pictures, I'm just not recording. So like, I'm actually on the beach, I'm actually doing the mud tours, I'm actually enjoying the place that I'm staying at, I'm actually taking in a lot of the sights. Yeah, I take pictures along the way, but I really want to get better at travel vlogging so that way I can actually show y'all the experience and share the experience with y'all. It's just that sometimes I feel like that takes away from my experience. But again, I'm going to get better at that. Usually my content is surrounding about how I became the black sheep. And that's another reason why I haven't posted in 3 weeks is because my life has sped up so much ever since I cut off my maternal side of the family that I literally have story times 4 days for y'all. And 2 of those story times, I'm gonna actually have to wait a year to even disclose to y'all because we can get in trouble for that, right? And I still have a livelihood outside of me recording. So when that time comes, I'm definitely gonna drop those fucking story times. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. But yeah, let's just jump right into the video. So we left last week on a Sunday. We did 5 days at Cartagena. It was me and 2 other friends, my best friend and someone I've gotten close to pretty quickly. Over the last couple of months, I decided to invite him as well. The original person that was supposed to go on the trip with us, we ended up having a falling out back in January. And honestly, that could be a story time as well about how this nigga came in my motherfucking house and lied his motherfucking ass off and tried to pit me against my own best friend, etc., etc. So he ended up not going. We ended up adding this third person. It was originally just going to be me and my best friend was going to do a hotel room. We decided to get an Airbnb, right? And like put a pin in that because that's going to come back on later. That's going to come back up later in the story. So our flight was at 6 a.m. We left out of DCA. All is well. The flight was normal. We land in fucking MIA. We had a layover in MIA that was only supposed to be an hour and 45 minutes long. That layover turned into a 5-hour layover at Miami Airport. We had enough time to fucking get drinks, get drunk, sober up, and then still hop on the plane to Cartagena. Our Airbnb host, once we got there, was just like, oh, we waited hours for you guys. And we were like, yeah, it was out of our control. So come to find out the reason why the plane was so delayed is because the captain chair was broken. And I guess they weren't able to take off without replacing it. So they ended up having to get us a whole new plane with that delay. So we're back again. Back again. The flight is delayed more than 45 minutes at this point. We were supposed to take off at like 10:15. The plane's not even ready, and it takes like 40 minutes to board. I'm not sure if there's a storm going on. I'm not sure what's happening, but at this point, go, they at the bar. Yeah, what y'all order? What y'all get?
I got a top shelf Long Island.
It's real fruity, real homosexual. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
You know what I'm saying? And go, and first off, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but whatever gate we're at, don't let Trump know because baby girl.
You cannot say that on national television.
My God.
You cannot say that on the national internet.
My God.
Oh my gosh.
But what I'm saying is that, yeah, it's
No.
They're feeling good.
Yeah,
They're sober. Good. And there's no fucking air conditioner in this motherfucker. The fucking bathrooms are fucked up. I don't know why they gave us a shitty ass terminal, but every time we fly into Miami, it's never like that. So I'm trying to figure out why is it like that now. But yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all updated. I said I was gonna like check in when we go to Cartagena, but I thought that we were going to be able to just board as soon as we get here. But that's a fucking lie. So, but yeah. We'll let y'all know when we land. And not only was that delay long as hell, they end up changing gates. And if y'all know anything about Miami Airport, it's fucking huge. Terminal D is ironically the largest fucking terminal, right? I think it has like 40 plus fucking gates. It has its own tram from one end to the other. So we were at like gate D40 and then we had to turn around and fucking walk all the way to like Terminal E. because that's how far they had to change the planes. Now, to put that in perspective, without using the train, that's a 20-minute walk across the fucking airport with fucking luggage that we're hauling across that goddamn airport. It was ridiculous. Like, American Airlines, count your fucking days. Honestly, if I would have flown Delta, paid the extra $200, that shit probably would have never happened. We would have flown into ATL, been able to get drunk, flew back out, and would have probably been on fucking time. And also I realized that once we landed, JetBlue lands there too. So I was just like, shit, we could have did that as well. Knowing JetBlue would have probably fucking been delayed as well. But at least we would have had more seat space. Another thing that I was going to complain about American Airlines is that the seats are uncomfortable as fuck. The snacks are weak as shit. Your flight attendants are rude as fuck. And there is no goddamn space. Like, American Airlines honestly is the Greyhound of fucking flights. Like, for JetBlue to be like a budget carrier and to have like seat back screens, pleasant flight attendants, a whole bunch of leg room, and it's at a cheaper price is ridiculous. And you have to fucking pay for Wi-Fi. Now, again, this is not my first time flying American. I'm just complaining about it based off the trip. Paying almost 40 to 50 fucking dollars because I needed Wi-Fi on the plane is ridiculous. Delta and JetBlue, like I said before, would fucking never. And honestly, what I've heard about United, they're no better than fucking JetBlue. I mean, they're no better than American Airlines either. So yeah, like I said before, all of those goddamn complaints, it's not worth the price. It's not worth the price at all. It was just the most convenient because of the flight times, and I'd rather pay a little bit more to be on Delta or a bit more inconvenience than to be on JetBlue than for me to find that mix and it be fucking mediocre on American Airlines. Outside of that, everything else, for the most part, we enjoyed our time. We enjoyed each other's time while we were waiting to get down there. Once we got to Cartagena, I can insert a clip for you. It's beautiful coming in. It is absolutely beautiful landing. You can also tell that we were definitely in a tourist area. So if I'm pronouncing this right, Gethsemane, the old city, and then I would say like the hotel district that's like a beachfront. Those are the areas primarily where the tourists are at. We stayed in the old city. I recommend staying, if you want to party, stay in Gethsemane. If you want more of a tourist experience and you feel a little unsafe being immersed in, I guess, fully in Cartagena, I would stay in that hotel district. But if you want to be immersed in the experience, you want to be 2 blocks away from a grocery store, you want to be across the street from where they go to school at, I recommend staying in the old city. Now, outside of that tourist area is where the rest of Cartagena is at, and the clip that I just inserted, you can definitely tell that's where the locals stay, and they come into those tourist areas to make their money. Once we land, immigration was only like 45 minutes. Now, also we landed on a Sunday, so it wasn't that long. We were the only plane that landed, and it was our flight that was the only flight getting processed. One thing that they're super strict on is definitely sex trafficking. So to my understanding, the age of consent in Colombia is 14, and prostitution is also legal. Don't quote me, do your own research, but I'm pretty much sure I'm right on that. And in the customs line going into Cartagena, they'll tell you that, you know, sex trafficking carries 13 to 26 years, like immediately, like there's a zero tolerance for that. And that is because they're so open around sex work. So we get through customs, like any other, I would consider like third world country, it's always a money grab. They're always looking for tips. They're going to tell off the back that you're American. They're going to tell off the back, even if you're trying to speak Spanish, you're not speaking Colombian Spanish, they know that you're American, you're European, you know, you're from a wealthier nation, and they're going to ask for a tip. They're going to try to grab your bags for you. They're going to try to flag down a taxi for you. They're going to try to flag down an Uber for you. And all to this, you know, try to get a tip, and which is fine. You know what I mean? They got to make their money. I know for my next trip that I'm gonna go probably travel maybe Europe, because I wanna get less of that haggle feel. That entire time we were in fucking Cartagena, no gracias was, and I probably sound American as hell trying to say that, was our famous line. Like, no, 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 no. Because from everybody's trying to sell you something. Everybody's trying to get a tip from you. Everybody's trying to get money out of you. I admire the hustle, but that shit's exhausting. The Ubers were super cheap. From the airport to the walled city, and our Airbnb itself was only like 11 bucks. We've never spent more than $10 on an Uber to get across Cartagena. And this is like not us doing like economy. This is not us doing mopeds. This is me like booking premium and SUV vehicles. Never spent over $10. The city itself, I'm going to insert some more clips. Absolutely beautiful coming into the city. We definitely got a chance to take a picture by the Cartagena sign.
That is so pretty. You gotta see that video.
We end up meeting some great people down there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rolling in. The wall city, it has its own charm. The hotel section reminds me of, and I hope I don't offend nobody, a third world Miami. Like, it get beautiful women, beautiful men, beautiful people overall. The beaches are gorgeous. Now, it's not going to be your traditional white sand water that you can see all the way down, like to your feet, like almost a half a mile out. Like, it's not giving that until you get to the next part that I'm going to talk about. But nonetheless, gorgeous. We get to the Airbnb. I'm going to see if I can insert a couple of pictures. Like I told you, I did not get enough video for this. Like, God, I really wish that I was able to show y'all how beautiful our Airbnb was, how our individual rooms were gorgeous, how accommodating our hosts were. When we walked in, they had complimentary beer, water, Coca-Cola, you know, etc. It had its own courtyard pool. It had 4 stories, 2 different courtyards that you can go out at. It's also they also had its own grill. Like, it was just very accommodating. So once we got there, we got settled, we got checked in. I think we immediately went to the grocery store, the liquor store, and a hookah shop, because we had to find something to smoke on. I don't smoke weed, but we had to find something to smoke on. We had to find something to drink, obviously. I lied. I take that back. We didn't find a liquor store that first night because after customs, we went to the duty free and then just picked up some vodka for the night. Yeah, so after that, we went to the grocery store. We did the money exchange. I guarantee you, we got groceries for $75 that entire week we were there. And it lasted us so long that we ended up leaving food in the refrigerator. That's how much food it is. The money conversion, I believe right now, sits around every 4,000 pesos is $1 American. Super fucking affordable, right? We also went in the off season. So it was a lot cooler. We thought it was gonna rain more and it actually didn't, which was also a blessing. We were able to get like breakfast food and different stuff that we could snack on. We ended up buying like food for dinner that night, ended up cooking dinner at the Airbnb, which also saved us a lot of money. Got back there, then the first night was kind of like a chill night after that 5-hour delay. We hopped in the pool, we ate, we drunk, we went to bed. The next morning, we had to do our first excursion. I am going to put the itinerary in the comment section, or like in the section below this video, of like all of the tours that we did, I give it 5 out of 5 stars for both tours that we did. We did the Rosario Island tour. It takes you to 3 different beach resorts. They feed you, and then you go to 2 different sightseeing places where they allow you to take pictures. So, including in the price of the fare, which is only like $80, and that varies based off of what site you booked them on. Got out there early enough so that way we weren't mixing and mingling with a whole bunch of different groups. They fed you now, again, for $80 per person, paying for boat transfers, getting access to these beaches, well worth it. The food was a bit mediocre, but I understand. Like, something had to give. They was like, let me throw in this meal for you guys in the midst of everything else. And I think it's also a common theme for these tour guides to give you 3 options. They give you veggie, they give you fish, or they give you chicken, right? The salt fish looks like the best meal, where they give you like rice and beans, they give you like this type of salad, and they give you the whole fish. That looked fire. Pollo was the next option. The chicken was okay. That was the most seasoned. The rice was plain. It was a coconut white rice. Didn't taste like coconut whatsoever. The salad was plain. The plantains were nasty. It was fine. $80. It's okay. The food, 4 out of 10. The experience, 10 out of 10. We had a really good, really good tour guides. They were super attentive. One of the things that they made sure that happened for you while we did the Rosario Island trip is to make sure that you didn't get scammed, right? It was like every time you pay for liquor, every time you rent a towel, every time you do something and you don't speak Spanish, come get me. Make sure that they're not trying to jip you out of your money. And that's what I liked the most. Like, they were like, nah, this is the negotiation rate. This is the surcharge if you use a card, and make sure that you come get me so they don't trick you out of your goddamn money. Cool. That's what also made the experience 5 out of 5. Those are the islands where you're going to be able to see water waist deep all the way down to your feet. I would say be careful of the coral, be careful of the rocks, be careful of the logs. They will fuck your feet up. Be careful of the seaweed if you're someone that is a texture person. My best friend doesn't like that, so he didn't get into the water as much because he hates the way that shit feels between his feet. I end up getting like a bruise on my toe because I like stubbed my toe on some fucking rocks. Like, just be careful of that, because that plus drinking is a bad fucking combination. Speaking on the drinks were strong. The very first island, I think, in my personal opinion, the drinks were the strongest. I'm going to see if I can, again, in the itinerary, tell you each island that we went to, because off the top of my head, I'm not going to be able to remember. But again, the drinks were strong. The people were super friendly. The tour guides were super fucking nice. The beaches were well maintained, well kept. These are where you're going to find that white sand and blue water at. The second island we moved to was more of a party island. This is where we ate, where I said that the food was mid. This is where they end up having hookah for sale, and they had like a smaller inlet for the water. I didn't really hop in the water this go around because the beach wasn't big enough for my liking. And it was not too much there. We ended up taking some pictures of like the wild animals. Oh, also be wary, they don't have running water on a lot of these islands. So the toilets may not work. The water in the sinks may not work. Just bring your own hand sanitizer, wet wipes, or whatever you need to do. This is not a place to do number 2 at either, baby. You may have to hold it because, girl, especially with that second island. And I get it. Like, you know, this is not like a Hyatt beach resort. You know what I'm saying? So I would just be wary of that. By the time we got to the third island, that was where they did like free samba classes, free salsa classes for our group. We also would only share that island with one other boat, which is super nice. The entire experience was never overcrowded, which I fucking loved. Like, we weren't packed in there like sardines. The group that we went was about 15 to maybe 20 people, and we saw those same 15 to 20 people throughout the entire experience. Also, with the booking, they have 2 sides. They have a leisure side, and then they have a party side. And then the last smaller portion, I think that's connected to both of those, is scuba diving. Not scuba diving, I'm sorry, snorkeling. So the party side, you would have definitely had that more of experience. The reason why we didn't choose the party side is because, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, all you're doing is getting fucking haggled like the entire goddamn time. It is exhausting. Also, when I put this itinerary at the bottom, be prepared to pay a port tax. I don't think it's more than 10,000 pesos. Don't give me the line, I don't remember. I think it's like 10 or 13,000 pesos or something like that. You do have to pay a port tax in order to hop on the boat to leave to do the Rosario Islands, or any boat for that matter. And that kind of concluded that trip. Again, 10 out of 10 experience. I'm gonna drop some pictures. Then later on that night, I am going to drop the restaurant that we went to. So like I talked to you guys before, the conversion rate is really, really good. So I ended up getting like a steak dinner. We all got drinks, and we only spent $150 between the three of us. Being in the DMV area, that is a quick $300 to $400 meal at the caliber restaurant that we were at. I had to backtrack. The first night we was there, we went to the tobacco shop. We had met a guy at the tobacco shop that had gave us his WhatsApp. He invited us to go to what they consider dark rooms. So in the back of these clubs, there are like areas where you can play. And he was basically like alluding like, hey, like if you want to get put on, like let me know. And that was my first experience outside the country getting invited to something like that. Honestly, if it wasn't my first time in Cartagena, I would have probably participated, I'm not gonna lie. Also coming immediately out of that tobacco shop, they have these guys on the street that sell vapes. They don't just sell vapes. So the cartons are actually filled with anything from cocaine, ketamine, fucking pills, and weed. Whatever you want, they have. And that leads me to a later story down the line with this entire trip. To our second day there, we went to go find more liquor. The liquor is also super reasonable. Like, you don't have to get the Don Julios, don't get the Patrons, don't get none of that. Get the shit that you haven't seen in the States. Ask some of the people, like, what do they drink, what are some of their favorite bottles, and they give you their recommendations, and they usually don't give you a hangover, and it's a whole hell of a lot cheaper than buying those big wig brands, right? Don Julio and Casamigos are currently getting fucking sued right now anyway, because they're distorting their fucking recipe when it comes to aging their liquor. So that's not even something that you should even have interest in. But yeah, it was super cool. We ended up doing that, going back to the hotel. I mean, not hotel, we went back to the Airbnb. Lord, when we got back to the motherfucking Airbnb, it was about to storm. And because it was about to storm, I'm gonna insert this clip. I'm gonna insert this picture. It was ridiculous. We started seeing these fucking bugs fly in the air. We're like, oh, it's just about to storm. Like, the bugs are just letting us know. Girl, we looked in the corner, it was a shit ton of fucking bugs. So we were like, okay, maybe like a nest has hatched because it was about to storm. They're starting to fucking fly around. We found out that it was coming from inside the house on the roof, and it was fucking termites. Y'all, it was enough. It looked like we were sweeping up soil. That's how many fucking bugs we killed. It was disgusting. One thing I don't do bugs. I'm sorry, I don't do bugs. I don't do shit. I don't do none of those things where it's fucking nasty. I don't do it. So they end up sweeping it up for me. I looked at them the entire time like they were fucking insane. That shit was trifling. End up having to call the Airbnb host like, hey, there's fucking bugs flying out the goddamn roof. And by the time she got there, she sweeped it up. We sprayed everything down. She said that it shouldn't come back. She said because of the rain, sometimes that happens. Cool. That's what made that hotel, that Airbnb experience 4.5 out of 5. Like that took a 0.5 off of the fucking experience, because that shit was absolutely trifling. Yeah, we like got drunk, stayed up that night, played music by like 11 o'clock. We're all exhausted. Like drinking the rest of the bottle that we didn't finish last night and partying in the pool for the first half. And then I believe that we like took a nap for the second half. We went out walking just for a little bit. And then later on that night, my friend wasn't feeling too well. Honestly, I think between the alcohol and all the traveling exhausted him, my best friend. He ended up with just staying in the house, and we went to a second restaurant called CANDE. I'm going to put that restaurant also in the itinerary below. By the third day though, we end up doing the mud tour. Disclaimer, I'm going to put that at the bottom. You know, like I keep saying before, I'm going to make an itinerary for you guys. Make sure you bring at least 50,000 pesos. Okay, they'll never charge you more than 20,000 pesos for everything, but at least bring 50,000 pesos to be safe. We bought cards like a fucking Americans. We went to this goddamn mud tour. Halfway through the drive there, she told us, hey, this is a really poor part of Colombia, so a lot of these people work for your money so that way they can feed their families. So in the mud tour, they give you a mud massage for 5,000 pesos. The guy that takes your pictures, that is 5,000 pesos as well. There's another 5,000 pesos for him to hold your shit. And then there's another 5,000 pesos for the ladies to wash the mud off of you in the lake. The sellers on the side, the vendors, are also selling like beers, cokes, etc. Those are 10,000 pesos a piece. So I'm saying, keep it in mind, for each individual, bring at least 50,000 pesos to spend, because they didn't inform us that even in the trip advisor. So be mindful. That was a really good experience. I'm going to insert a clip for that.
That's why this is also as the fountain of youth.
No, I got you. If your feet come in, let's go.
On the way back, please, once you step out, do not remove any mud from you because you can fall or somebody else can film.
And same thing? No. It was really
You can bring all the mud.
Yeah, where do we
Lagoon, where you will be washed off. You're gonna stay there for 30 more minutes. Okay?
The only downside is that I had the expectation that there was going to be multiple mud pits. There's only one mud pit. You're sharing it with multiple different tours, and you're only going to get about a 20-minute experience in the mud pit before you get out. So the entire excursion for that is only 40 minutes. However, they take you to another beach resort where you stay for about 2 to 3 hours. And that was only for 48 bucks. So they fed you there. The food was a whole hell of a lot better there. The plantain patties were still nasty. But at least we had our own private pool. We didn't have to share the resort with anybody else. The drinks were super cheap. I mean, premium reposado shots were only maybe $3 to $4 in American dollars. That was the best beach that we went to. Honestly, I like that beach, even though it was more of a darker sand. You didn't get, like I said before, where you could see the water all the way, you know, from waist deep all the way to the bottom of your feet. You didn't get that experience, but that was the best experience I had. We also got massages on the beach. That was well worth it. I never realized how tense I was from the job that I'm working, because I carry a lot of gear on me, until that lady was just like, oh my God, you need to get massages more often. The massage was only like 60 bucks. It lasted about an hour or so. Right after that, took a shot of tequila, jumped right in the beach. Great fucking experience. I promise you, I loved it from beginning to end. The 50 bucks, in my personal opinion, was a better experience than the 80 bucks of the Rosario Islands. And I can say that because we also formed kind of a bond with the people that we went on a trip with. We also end up meeting a really good person. I can probably consider like a travel buddy, a friend I can reach out to anytime. She is, I'm not going to say her name. I am going to like include a picture of all of us. She was super fucking cool. She is a Haitian nurse that lives in Boston. She is fucking amazing. We also end up going out to dinner with her later on, because she was also a Gemini, so we helped her celebrate her birthday even though she was on a solo trip. Hopefully we keep up. Like a couple of weeks down the line, I'm going to probably check up on her just to see how she's doing. The ambiance of this restaurant was the best. The food was the second best. I ended up having the short rib, ended up not finishing it. The drinks were pretty chill. I really wish that we had went on season, and I really wish that we went on a Friday or a Saturday, because I know that this restaurant would have been a lot more entertaining. It was more of an Americanized restaurant. They were paying like Cardi B, they were paying like Glorilla. It was chef's kiss. And that's where we also end up spending the most money. We end up spending $256 there across from 3 people, but that's also 2 drinks a person, the birthday wishes, 3 appetizers and 3 entrees. Still a really, 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 really fucking good steal. I'm going to try to keep this video short as possible because the story time is long as hell. We're probably coming up on like 33, 34 fucking minutes. But after we had went to that dinner, we end up like trying to do the club hopping scene. Again, we went off season, so it just didn't give. Both of the clubs were cool. By 12 o'clock, we had left. We was like, all right, we're tired. Like, I'll give you like short clips. I promise you it didn't give. We went to like one disco club, and then we went to another club called 7, and that shit was whack as hell. The next morning, had to pack up and leave back out. Now, the trip back was smooth. We thought we were about to get delayed because back in DC, the storms were really fucking bad. But by the time we landed, it was smooth sailing. Honestly, you need more days. The next 2 trips that I'm planning is I would like to do Brazil around my birthday, and I would like to do a tour of Europe in October of 2026. So the plan was either I'll do Italy, and we'll fly into Rome, go to Florence, Venice, and then maybe do like the Italian Riviera, and then end up back in Rome and fly back out. Or we're gonna fly into London, do a day trip in Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and probably end up in Germany, and then fly back. So those are the 2 options. For Brazil, I would like to fly into Salvador, do 3 days in Salvador, fly into Rio, and do another 4 days in Rio and fly back. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully I am much better at fucking vlogging that experience than what I did in Cartagena. So it's less of a story time and more of you guys being immersed in the experience. But I'm going to wrap this up here. This has been Talks with Antoine. Peace.